Hello and welcome. We're going to make an adorable fall card today using a stamp set from CC Designs that you can find in the Not Too Shabby shop. I picked out this stamp set because I love the sentiments. So the big one at the top says Happy Fall, y'all. Happy Hoot to you, and hey there. I have it linked below in my description box, as well as a discount code that you can use if this is something that interests you. I highly encourage you to head over to the Not Too Shabby shop so you can check out all the wonderful things that are available from a lot of different stamp manufacturers and also from Not Too Shabby Designs as well. So I have my stamps and I'm lining them up in my MISTI. I'm using Hammermill Premium Color Copy Cover Paper, 100 pound, and I'm using Memento ink. Now for the sake of time, I do speed up several of my segments on my video. And as I said, I will have things linked below in my description box for all the products that I'm using. So my first color that I'm using is C7, and this really cute fence, I'm going to outline the outer sections of the wood with C7, and I'm just going over the lines that are already in this stamp. Then I have, let's see, T3, and I'm using that as my lighter shade, and the darker shade, I just used the artist lines in the line art of the image, and that's where I went with my darker shade. And then there, it looks like there's two little nails on each side, so I just used 110 for the nails. And then I go in with T3 again and just, you know, kind of covering up some of the sections that I think aren't blended well. I grab the C7 again and just go over some of those lines again. Just, you know, this is the way I color, folks. YG03 is the color that I'm using right now. A lot of times I will start with the light color. You'll see that's a little bit different. This is G07. A lot of people start with the dark color first, and really it depends. Sometimes I start with the dark and sometimes I start with the light, but I am just trying to blend things to get it looking nice and colorful. Now here we have our Scarecrow, and I'm going to, wait a minute, I'm finishing up the grass there. I'm going to be using lots of yellows and oranges and even some reds for our Scarecrow. So the first color is YR24. He's got this super cool straw hat. So I do color that in first with that color. But then I think, well, let's go in with some E37 and try to outline better so that it has a nice bold outline. Usually that's what we do when we Copic color. We do our outline in our darker color and then we blend with our lighter color. This is E43. I'm just doing some light blending, and I think that looks pretty cool for his hat. Okay, now I have to do his eyes. So I'm using Y08 for his eyes, and R08 is what I'm using for my first layer of orange. And when I say first layer, this is my outline. Next I have YR04 coming in. These colors are pretty close, but the R08 is more reddish, which is fine. And then I have this Y38. It's called Honey, which I love this color. You can use it for yellow or orange, but it's kind of yellowish orange. And then Y08 for the tongue and the leaves, colored those in with that. Then I have YR02. It's just a color that I use to make those leaves not quite so yellow. And then I grabbed the R24 to outline the coat. I didn't realize that he's sort of wearing a jacket and a shirt. The Scarecrow, I made it all one color. Now I have R14, and when I mean one color, I mean one shade. So I'm using various shades of red. Didn't realize that. Now I have R17, and I'm going over that outline. Just trying to make it so it doesn't look so one-dimensional. And then I grabbed R14 again. But I figured, hey, he's a scarecrow. He should have a red shirt on because he's trying to scare the birds away from the pumpkin patch. Now for his little handkerchief and his neck kerchief, I grabbed the BG02 color. And then for his wooden post, I was using E43, and I'm going back in with Y08 just to touch up some of those areas on his hat. Now the pumpkin, I start with R08, and I'm just doing some easy shading where the artist has the lines drawn. Then I go in with a honey Y38, and then YR02, which is light orange. Trying to get a little bit of shading. And then for the stem, I just used G07, and I colored the stem and the stump. I also used some YG03. And there you have it. Those are the three ones that I'm going to be using on my card. So let's stick to those three, and I'll stop my coloring video at the three here, or my coloring part of the video. As you can see, I did color all of the items, but for today's video, we're just going to use some of those images. So I used some paper that I had in my stash, and I cut out using a Gina Marie tribal rectangle die. And so I layered my papers, and I'm just trying to decide what looks the best with this pattern paper. It's got really cool blue trucks and trees and pumpkins in the background. As for my sentiment, happy fall y'all is going to fit nicely in that upper left hand corner. So off camera, I did pick happy fall y'all. I heat embossed it with gold embossing powder. I trimmed it with a decal trimmer, and then I used Catching Rays ink by Catherine Puller and my domed foam blending tool just to make the edges of that sentiment a different color, just so that there's a little bit of contrast. It's not so white. I did end up getting ink on my sentiment where I didn't want it, so I'm using the mono sand eraser to erase that ink. When you're doing this, just be careful you don't erase too much, because you can easily erase the fibers of your paper to the point where you leave a hole in your paper. So the trick is just to take your time and only erase the ink, not the paper itself. And by the way, I will have all the products that I used linked below in my description box. And I will include my own YouTube channel in case you're interested in catching me over there. My YouTube channel is my name, Tracy Shultz. And there's probably a lot of Tracy Shultz that have YouTube channels, but if you type in Tracy Shultz cards, then my channel will pop up. But again, I'll have it linked below. All right, so now I'm just figuring out the direction that I want everything to be laid out. I grabbed my foam tape, and I actually put foam tape on every single thing that I colored. So all of my little cutouts, by the way, I cut them out using the Scan and Cut, but Not Too Shabby has the matching dies. So you can not only get this cute stamp set, but you can purchase the coordinating dies in the Not Too Shabby shop. So go check it out. Now you're just seeing me put the die cut images and sentiments on the first layer of pattern paper. And then I will go ahead and adhere that to the second layer of pattern paper, which is this gorgeous orange pumpkin sort of design. And then I have to figure out what color card base do I want. And so I grab out all my fall card stock. And I'm just showing you again the address for the Not Too Shabby shop in case you would like to check that out. I highly encourage you to check it out. And I end up going with one of the yellow card bases. It's more of a gold. Well, which one did I pick? Actually, I did pick the yellow. I'm just using my bone folder to crease that, and then I'm using my tape adhesive, and I will go ahead and adhere this to the front of the card panel. With the little tribal stitch die, you can see the color behind the pattern paper. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to the Not Too Shabby channel. And leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this card. Don't forget to check out the description box and head on over to Not Too Shabby and go shopping with your 10% off discount code. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.